Okay, guys, so the title of this note set is Pensar, Querer, Preferir. So today and tomorrow we're going to be learning about these three verbs, but today we're only going to talk about pensar. So, what these three verbs all have in common is that they are all three an E to IE stem changing verb. Okay, so pensar is an E to IE stem changing verb, and it means to think or to plan. So, like I said at the beginning of the year, we were going to be reviewing and relearning stem changing verbs. So that's what we're doing right now in this unit. We are going to focus on E to IE stem changing verbs. So for those of you who need a refresher on that, stem changing verbs only have that vowel stem change in these four forms. And they're referred to as boot verbs or shoe verbs because when you look at the shape that it makes in the chart, it looks like an awkwardly long toe boot. But it looks like a boot nonetheless. So when you're conjugating these verbs, sometimes you have to visualize this chart in your head to remind yourself of where that vowel change happens. Okay, so with that being said, I want you in your notes right now to copy down this chart. You don't need to shade it in, but copy down the chart, and then you conjugate pensar with that information. That E is going to change to IE in these four forms, and then the endings are just regular AR verb endings. So I want you to copy the chart. I want you to conjugate pensar on your own. So pause this video, and when you've done that, then hit play and check to see if you were right. Okay, so let's see if you got that right. So let's go through the forms. You should have yo pienso, tú piensas, usted ella piensa, nosotros pensamos, vosotros pensáis, and it's an AR verb, so that accent needs to be over the A in the vosotros form. And then ustedes, ellos, and ellas piensan. So these can either mean I think or I plan, you think or you plan, he or she thinks or plans, we think or plan, y'all think or plan, and then they think or plan. Okay, so make sure that your spelling is correct. Sorry, I should have taken off those spell checks on Word. Okay, so let's talk about how to know if pensar means to think or to plan. So when a form of pensar is followed by an infinitive, it means to plan. So let's talk about what an infinitive is. An infinitive is a verb that has not had a subject attached to it. It's not conjugated. It just means to sing, to dance, to run, to eat. It has that to in front of it. So if we look at this first example, yo pienso llevar un abrigo. That would translate to, I plan to wear a coat. Okay, and look, we did not add that little ah. A lot of people like to add an ah there because they see the word to, but that to is already implied in the infinitive. So yo pienso llevar means I plan to wear. Okay, so if we look at the second example, pensamos dormir mucho, nosotros pensamos dormir mucho. What do you think that means? All right, and let's see if you were right. We plan to sleep a lot. Great job. Okay, so when a form of pensar is followed by the word que, it means to think. And remember, the word que, that conjunction means that or than. So let's look at this example. Yo pienso que esa camisa es fea. I think that that shirt is ugly. And in English, we can omit the first that. We can omit what K stands for in the sentence. I think that shirt is ugly, and it makes sense. But in Spanish, you have to have that there for it to make sense. So, yo pienso que esta camisa es fea can either mean I think that that shirt is ugly or I think that shirt is ugly. Again, the that is optional. It kind of depends on your own personal preference or possibly the situation of the sentence that you're saying. But in Spanish, it's always mandatory. Okay, so let's look at the second example. ¿Piensas que este vestido es bonito? ¿Piensas que este vestido es bonito? Okay, so it's a question. So what do you think that question is asking? All right, and let's see if you were right. Do you think that this dress is pretty? Now you could also omit the that, and you could just say, do you think this dress is pretty? Because again, in English, the that is optional, but in Spanish, it is not. All right, guys, great job. Now we're going to put it into practice.